What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Creative Hunter podcast. Logan Romney here, as always. And this week I'm running solo. I'm going to go through some cool stuff with you guys. This one's kind of for the photography, video people who are getting into the industry and kind of want to learn how to start making some income and start doing some projects with brands. So I'm going to do some cool stuff, and I'll go through that just in a second. But some news for the channel. The bear hunts, the part 2 of my spring bear hunt was just posted yesterday on YouTube, so go check that out. There is a giveaway going along with that. So with part 1 and part 2 of that bear hunt, there's a giveaway with Wilderness Athlete and Hardside Hydration, and I will be announcing the winner of that on Sunday, so a week after part 2 dropped yesterday. So this Sunday we'll be announcing the winner of that giveaway. It's pretty cool. Part 2 of the hunt, part 1 was me getting my bear, and then part 2, Jamin Davis, who was with me filming and helping out, he ended up killing a bear on the last day in that part 2. So if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, get entered to win on that giveaway. It's pretty cool. Wilderness Athlete, they're giving away quite a few stuff. They're giving away some field pouches, some bags full of the sticks there's 2 different kinds. There's Energy and Focus, and then Hydrate and Recover drink mixes. So really awesome stuff. I used them like every day. I actually wish I brought more with me on our hunt this spring. Definitely gonna bring in those on hunts this fall. They're also giving away like a Nalgene bottle, a hat, some pack out bars, which are really good. They're super dense, nutrient dense bars, like chocolate bars that you can eat while you're hiking around and hunting and packing stuff out. And then Hardside Hydration, they'll give away a full swig rig and a Yeti bottle, just a full package there, so that you guys can stay hydrated, stay fueled when you're on the mountain. Pretty cool giveaway if you're just really just from a nutrition and like hydration perspective. Like this is stuff that makes a difference in the backcountry. So get entered to win that. So for today, if you haven't watched it, so I made a film. It's a high country archery deer hunt. I did it. I was working on the project with Kobe Owens, with Kincaid Smeltzer, and then our hunting buddy Raiden Lindley. And it's a pretty easy tag to get, but it's a high country archery mule deer tag. So Raiden and I both got the tag, and we wanted to do a film on this. And kind of the idea for this film became long before we even knew the draw results for the tag. But around December timeframe of 2022, me and Kobe started kind of thinking about, let's like plan a cool project for this next fall in 2023. And let's get some brands on board and let's make something happen. We've never really done a project exactly how we did this one, but it is a way that I know other people have done projects. So I want to kind of run through how we did it and how you can do it if it's something that you want to do, is start kind of working on your own projects and getting brands to sponsor them. And since we've done this, I've done it on a few other hunts, and we're actually doing this exact same hunt again this year in a couple months. And we have some of the same sponsors on board for the hunt. So to start off, Kobe and I decided, okay, let's do this archery deer hunt. I can get a tag and Raiden can get a tag. And then Kobe and Kincaid, our other film buddy, they'll photograph it and film it, and we'll make a sick film about it. And we started kind of planning about it and thinking about it, and there's a few things you really want to think about when you're making a film like this, because there's been tons of films made about hunting and archery deer hunting and high country stuff. We wanted to do something a little different that was going to stand out, so not only help us grow and get our name out there and like that we're people that make films that stand out, but also help the brands grow and get some notoriety from our film as standing out and being different. So we started to think about how can we do that on this film. And the ideas that were coming to mind were, let's take our bows and let's show all the practice and the work that goes into getting ready for a big hunt like this. So we wanted to go film things at TAC in Bozeman, or in Big Sky, Montana, and go film a day or two on the course where Raiden and I are shooting bows all day, practicing in those real world environments, and then showing the dedication of the physical effort that we're building up to be ready for these type of hunts, because this is a backpack hunt. We hunted, I hunted like 14 days on the hunt. Everyone else was with me for about 11 or 12 of them, so we were out there for a long time backpack hunting. And so it's not an easy thing to go backpack hunt and chase mule deer in the mountains. So we wanted to show how we were preparing for that through training, running, going to the gym, and then we wanted to kind of encompass that all in the film, and then show the story of the film as well, and hopefully kill a deer. Obviously, that was the goal, is to get out there, kill a deer with the bow. We had 2 tags, so Raiden and I, and then we had 2 film guys, so we had some flexibility. We could split up, we could do whatever we needed. So that was kind of our idea and our vision for how the film was going to turn out. We were planning on going to TAC. We were planning on doing some different shoots on some different days when we could make it together and go do some training stuff, and then we had the plan for the film. So that's just where it all started. Is we created that plan and that film and that idea. There's a few things I kind of already covered them here, but when you're trying to plan this, it's easy to think about the what. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be hunting whatever species or whatever with what. The where is easy, and then the when is easy. So those 3 are really easy, but the one that really will stand out is the why. Why are you wanting to film this hunt? Is it because it's a cool hunt? Is it because there's some meaning behind it to someone? Is the person that's hunting, do they have a cool story? Like, what's your why? Because that's where you stand out. The what, where, and when are hardly meaningless if there's no why behind those. Sure, you can make good films of hunts, but if there's not a why, then they're not going to be great films, and they're just not going to stand out. So we figured out what our why was for our film, and our why was to show the dedication, the time that it takes to be successful on a hunt. So after that, we wanted to get brands on board to help pay for the hunt. And it's not even to pay for the hunt, but to pay for camera guys and our time, and for time editing it, and then beyond that for food and logistics and travel and all that stuff. There's a ton of time and money that goes into making stuff like this, and we wanted to make sure that we all made enough money that we felt it was was good for us and worth it for our time, but also that we weren't overcharging brands and asking for too much. So we started coming up with a price point for what we were going to pitch to brands, and how much are we going to pitch, how much do we need, because we needed to pay Kobe, we needed to pay Kincaid, and then myself, because I was going to be spending the time editing the film, and also was working getting brands and spending time all over the place making it happen. So the 3 of us decided, let's just all work together on this, and we'll split it between us. And we kind of worked that out with each other. And so we decided, okay, this is how much we want to make this much money, and that way we can split it up between us and all feel good about how much we made and the time we put in. And we kind of decided, okay, if we can get this many brands on board and charge them, and we ask for this amount of money, we'll be able to hit that number. So we started going through that and just figuring out what we needed to make, and once we got that number, I don't know but I'm really going to share it on this podcast right now, just because of the industry and everything. But I probably would share it if you guys wanted to reach out to me and kind of ask about pricing stuff. But pricing is a really interesting thing, because you have to make sure you're charging what you're worth, but you don't want to be charging so much that like brands aren't gonna hire you, or if you're charging a lot and brands expect a lot out of you and you don't deliver, that's not very good for yourself either. So pricing's a whole different deal, but we came up with our pricing for what we wanted to do on this film, what we wanted to pitch. So after we came up with that, I got on to like a Photoshop and I thought it's like Adobe something, and I created a pitch deck. So it included all of the who, what, where, when, and the why, and then it had deliverables and pricing included in there, and then it had a section with all of the people that were going to be on the hunt. So the 4 of us, Raiden, me, Kobe, Kincaid, and it had links to our profiles. And the deliverables we decided for this hunt is that we would get brands a gallery of 50 images. They would be a sponsor of the film. We'd show their gear used in the film, and then we'd do a giveaway when the film was released, just to help spread the knowledge of the film to more people. And then we had the price point set. I think we had 2 options as well. So we had a lower option if a brand that didn't have quite the budget. We could say, all right, well, we'll get you 20 images, and this is the other deliverables, and this is the lower price point. But we were trying to get the good brand, bigger brands on board. And so I put all this in a Photoshop deal, and we decided we thought it'd be cool if we could print out like a foldable brochure with this whole pitch on it that we could go hand out to brands at the Hunt Expo in Salt Lake. So this is like December timeframe. We're coming up with these ideas and making these pitch decks. So we printed off a bunch of these pitch decks that we could go hand to brands so they could have their hands. These pitch decks had like awesome imagery on them, like good font. It was all laid out really nicely so they could open it up and see all the information, and then they could keep that. And if they ever wanted to reach out to us, if we didn't get a good answer for them there, they could have that and have our number and reach out to us, and even share it with other people if they wanted to. It wasn't something that we gave out to everybody, but if someone was interested, we'd give them one of these pitch decks and show it to them. So that was the plan. We got those printed off, went to the Hunt Expo, and that's where we started working and talking to brands about sponsoring this film. We talked to a bunch of different brands, and a lot of pretty much everyone we talked to is like, this is awesome, like we want to be a part of this. We had a few of the top ones that we really wanted to work with, and not all of them worked out, but a couple of them kind of like wanted to support us, so they just couldn't afford to pay us, so they offered to give us stuff. A couple of them that we talked to and they didn't have budget for it, but they were willing to give us product, was Matthews Archery. They were super cool with it. They're like, man, like we can't really afford to pay you guys for it, but how about this? We'll send you bows, rock our bows during the hunt, and don't even worry about getting us any content. Just rock our stuff and show it. So they were really cool about it, and they sent us bows. I already was shooting in Matthews, so I already knew I liked those bows. It wasn't something that I did just because they sent me free stuff, right? They sent us some bows, Raiden and I, and they actually sent Kobe and I think Kincaid some bows too, and we were rocking those bows. I think we did end up sending them photos from the hunt just because they were so cool to us. We wanted to just give them some stuff after. And then also MagView, so the phone scope adapter. Well, it's not phone scope. It's the MagView adapter, where you can film through the spotter with. They sent us a couple of those to use on the film, and I used them. I mean, I love them. I use them on every hunt. They're on all my spotters. And then Dialed Archery, we already knew the guys at Dials. We reached out to them about this project and did some FaceTimes with them, and they like same thing. They're just like, we can't really budget that right now, but we'll send you guys sites to use, and like just rock them when you can. If you guys want to send us some photos, that's great. So we got a bunch of photos for them while we were on the hunt and used their sites. But then there was a few brands that actually did pick us up and were like, yeah, let's do this. Like, we'll be willing to pitch in some money and help you guys. So the three that we ended up going with, Montana Knife Company, really awesome company. Kobe Owens, that was kind of his link up right there. I don't really know the guys over there really good, but Kobe knows a couple of them. So they were willing to pitch in, send us some knives, send us some money to help with the film. And then we got them a whole gallery of images, and their stuff was shown in the film. Hardside Hydration, I've worked with them for a long time, so they weren't a very hard sale to get. Like, we pitched them, and they were like, yeah, guys, like, let's do it. We're down. And then Onyx, Kobe and I both, I think we'd already both knew some of the guys at Onyx. Dylan over there, like, really cool guy. We pitched him with it. He went back with his team, discussed it, and came back to us like a week or two later, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, we're down. So those were the three we ended up getting. We were actually trying to get, I think, another one or two more, and we just couldn't quite find the right people and the right brands that worked with what we wanted to do. Which was totally fine. We were able to make enough that we all felt pretty confident about what we were doing. So we ended up with those three brands, which we all got at the Hunt Expo. And then we got just some exposure to other brands while we were there, just showing people what we were doing, and a lot of people were really stoked about it because it's not really a thing that a lot of people do. Standing out when you're making those impressions and talking to people is a really big deal. We had those brochures that we had our whole pitch deck on, that we handed out to people, and they looked really professional, and it was like, okay, these guys are legit, like, we can trust them, they know how to create good content and capture good imagery. Like, if we want to work with them, they're good people. And just because we only got three brands on board, we still got our name out with a bunch of other people, and we're able to start building relationships that way. So after we got the brands on board, we made sure we drew the tags, which wasn't that hard. They're like almost 100% chance of drawing. So we got the tags for the hunt. Everything's moving forward. Something that's really important that we did, and that everyone should do when you're working with companies, is writing contracts. We wrote a contract between myself, Kobe, and Kincaid to make sure that money was all just like divvied up how we planned on it, and we weren't really worried about it, but it's still a good idea to do that between creators, even if you're best friends. Write up a contract just in case. And then we wrote contracts with all the brands that we worked with, and just laid out all the details. Talked about pricing and when they were going to pay stuff, and made sure the brands were all okay with that, and then had contracts signed and everything well before the hunt, just so that we had everything finished, dialed in, everything was going to work out. And then we had to make sure that we were planning all the shots and the film and everything. We wanted to have enough content at the end of the hunt so that we could deliver all the brands their galleries of images, and that we also had enough content to make a really good film with it. So like I said, part of this film was going to TAC and shooting TAC and showing the process of practicing with our bows during the off season in the summertime. So we showed up TAC. Raiden wasn't able to make it, but myself and Kobe went to TAC. We filmed some stuff there, shot a bunch of photos for brands, and hung out there for a couple of days. Just a good time. And then we also got a bunch of content of us shooting around. We really didn't plan it as well as we should have. When I got to editing and everything after, I realized, like, we needed more videos from TAC. We needed to do a little bit more talking during videos and explaining like what we're doing here and why. And we didn't do it as good as we could have, so it's just another thing that in the future I'm going to be more cautious of that when we're doing these types of things. But it turned out really good. We got some good content. There was some inspiration for the film from my side, how I kind of wanted to lay the film out, how I wanted it to be different and stand out from most hunting films, is I wanted to kind of follow a style similar to, if you've ever seen a film called Free Solo. It's about a rock climber who climbs without ropes, and he does this like huge crazy route in Yosemite, and it's an amazing documentary. It's an award-winning film. Like, if you haven't seen it, you have to go see it. You've probably seen it because I think almost everyone has seen this documentary. But the way that it's filmed is really unique because it goes through his journey from when he's climbing this big wall, but then during points of the journey, it cuts back to something that happened in his future that changed kind of how he's acting in that moment. And then you'd keep going along, and then something would happen, and then the style of the documentary where it kind of bounced back and forth, I loved it. And I thought that that's something I'd never seen before in a hunting film, and I kind of wanted to try that in one of my films. So that's what I did. In my head, I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen is during the film, there's going to be like a moment when maybe someone misses a deer with their bow, and then we can flash back to all the practice they put into it and how painful that is, that miss, and how much they practiced and went to TAC and did all this stuff to get to that point. And then, or if there's a moment when like it's really tough, like they're tired, the hiking's tough, whatever, we can flash back to a time where they were training, they were running up mountains, they were lifting in the gym, and we can show all that work that was put into the moment, and then they can pull through and make it through. Like, that was like my thoughts and my ideas. Obviously, I didn't want anyone to miss a deer just so that we could do like a flashback of all the practice. It could even go the other way around. It could go where like someone shoots a deer and we could flash back to all the practice or something like that, right? And so that's how I kind of wanted to structure it. I thought it'd be really cool instead of just going in the timeline as like, all right, this is the first part of the film, we're shooting TAC, we're getting ready. The second part of the film, we're training, and then we go into the film. I thought it'd be cool to kind of start the film at the beginning of the hunt, and then throughout it, we do flashbacks of things. Definitely something that I want to improve on because we did it a little bit and it worked. I think that I could have done it better, and I think that through that process of learning is definitely how I'm going to figure that out better in the future. But what ended up happening in the film is I did miss a deer, and it kind of sucked, but it was really it was an interesting shot and everything, just the situation I missed, right? And so I was able to, in that part of the film, show the despair from after that miss, and then flash back and be like man, like I practiced so hard for this moment and I messed it up, and then flash back to shooting at TAC and practicing all that time, and then we come back into the film and the film keeps going. So it was cool. It kind of worked out in a little roundabout way, like pretty much exactly how I thought I wanted to do it. I just didn't execute it as well as I envisioned it. We didn't have the footage and everything that I thought that I wanted, but that's okay. That's where you learn. So it was important to think through that stuff before we even got on the hunt, so that I knew if a moment happened where later on I wanted to do like a flashback moment, or I wanted to add something in there that I thought about before the hunt, I knew what I needed to do to film and what I needed to capture in those moments to make sure that I have the right footage and the right dialogue and everything to make it work. So just that planning and thinking through the film was a really big deal. Another thing is planning planning photos and just knowing like, all right, these are the products we have. We have these 3 different brands that are counting on us to get content for them. What types of content do we need to get of this product and this one, and try to get it as early as we can in the hunt. But also realizing that we have 10 days to hunt, so let's just kind of spread it out and get it along the way as we can, and just make sure we capture as much as we can and get all the content we need. And we did. We had tons of photos and assets from that, and just constantly being on the lookout and taking photos and stuff. And Kobe and Kincaid are really good at that. They're really good at just constantly getting awesome photos, and they're not going to come back with hundreds and hundreds of great photos, but they're going to have like a solid gallery of really good images. But they've taken thousands and thousands of photos throughout the whole trip, and they're going to come back with like maybe 100, 150, maybe 200 like cool photos out of the thousands and thousands that they took. But that's what it takes, is just taking a lot of photos and figuring it out and learning, and then you get you get a percentage of those photos that just turn out really good. So that's kind of the biggest things on the hunt that are like before planning and then on the hunt. One of the things is like you got to take into account when you're budgeting stuff, gear, because gear will break. You might need new gear to film a hunt, a specific piece of gear, maybe something that you just want. Gear costs money, and Kobe ended up having his camera tip over off a tripod while we were filming some stuff up on the mountain, and like smashed one of his lenses. Really nice, like really nice lens. And so that's something that you gotta think about sometimes, is like, okay, if I do break gear or if I need some new gear for this hunt, where's that money coming from? As far as finishing the hunt, I never ended up killing a deer, so if you watch the film, you'll see that, but I feel like we did a really good job kind of putting it all together. After the film, I edited everything and did a bunch of drafts, sent them out to Kobe, Kincaid, Raiden, some other folks that I really trust, and just got feedback. Edited it for quite a while, for a few months, and didn't quite get it finished until around like December, and to where we were like, all right, this is like pretty solid. I like where this is at. I like the color. I like the storyline and everything. So we talked to brands and said, hey, let's plan on releasing this film right before the Hunt Expo, like a week before, and then at the Hunt Expo we will announce the giveaway winner in person right there, like in the expo. And we talked to the brands about doing a giveaway, and they were all down for it. They were all down to do some collab posts on Instagram too to help share the hunt. We got it all together, and then released it, and had the giveaway on Instagram and on YouTube. And then a week later at the Hunt Expo, we did like a random number generator, got the winner of the giveaway, and we sent the winner a bunch of cool stuff from like Onyx and Montana Knife Company and from Hardside Hydration. So it was really like super cool project, and it was a project that lasted basically over a year to get this one project done, which is kind of a common thing among creatives in any industry, but especially this hunting industry, where projects can take a long time to work on. They don't just happen in a couple months. Especially projects like this, where it was a personal project, but we were able to get some brands on board to help film or to help sponsor and pay for things on this personal project, which is kind of how it works in a lot of industries. The outdoor industry, like mountain climbing and stuff, you see a lot of professional climbers who have visions and they want to go do these projects and these adventures, and they have to get brands on board to pay for it, and that's just kind of how it works. Brands don't necessarily want to come up with ideas and trips for you to go on. If you can come up with ideas and plans and plan a trip where you can get awesome content for them, and they don't have to worry about a thing. All they're going to do is pay you and give you product, and you will come back with some awesome content for them. Brands will love that every single time. And the more you do it and the better you get at it and the more you build relationships with brands, the more the more successful you'll be in the industry. If you can plan really awesome trips, and you can make them happen, you can make incredible content from them, you'll be able to pitch those to brands, and brands will hop on board and help out with those trips and help you make money when you're doing cool projects. I would say most of the time, freelance people in any industry, freelance creatives, they're almost always pitching their own projects to brands, because if you don't, if you're just a person who wants to get free or you want to get free gear from a brand, you want to get paid to do some stuff, and you just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm a good photographer, like, if you guys need any help this year, or do you need any help, they're going to be like, well, we don't really have anything for you to help with, we already have our people lined up. If you can create opportunities for yourself, those brands are going to want to work with you, because they don't have to do anything. They just want you to they want you to do the work so that they can pay you. Like, I'm not saying that like they want you to do all the work for you. They will pay for it if you ask for it, and so it works out really nicely. But you need to go do the work on your part to make stuff happen. And so that's kind of my podcast for today, is just going through like how we made that film happen, how it all worked out, and hopefully that gives you some ideas and some knowledge on how you can work with some brands in the future. And this can be on a much smaller scale or a much bigger scale. I know most of the photographers and creators that work with big brands like Sitka, like they're creating their own projects, coming to Sitka and making things happen. But then you could even just have small projects. You could have some duck hunts that you're going to be going on this year, and you could reach out to a small brand who makes some sort of product in the duck hunting realm and say, hey, I've got like 4 duck hunts I'm going to be going on this fall or winter. I'd love to get you guys some content, like here's some pricing, and we can like write up a contract or something. Like that's a great way to start too, is to just kind of start small, start with some photo projects, maybe do a little bit of video stuff, and build up from there. And that's some really good advice right there. That was this last year, that film was kind of the first time that we tried that out and pitching brands on projects we already had planned. And since then I've already done it 2 more times. So it's definitely something that's just going to be ongoing for me. I love doing it because I can kind of plan my own hunts, and as long as I can get funding and hire a video guy to come with me, I can be the hunter on the hunt. I can hunt, and then I can also create something, and it's just like it gives me freedom to kind of do what I want with my films and my content. As much as I want, but then also make sure that I'm aligning with brands and working with them and helping them grow themselves too. So really cool. And if you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer stuff. You can put comments in here, you can DM me on Instagram, whatever. I'd love to chat and just answer questions for you guys. But thanks for listening. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. And for some people listening, this is maybe like totally out of the realm of what you would normally do if you're not really a creative person in the industry, but that's okay. But if you're a creative in here, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys get something from this. And we'll probably do some more stuff like this in the future, talking about projects that I've worked on or other people have worked on and kind of how that worked out. So just to give people ideas on like how you can do it. There's a ton of ways to do it. So this is just one of them. But thanks to you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next week.